everyone. So today we're going to be learning about King Solomon and 1 Kings 11. So some of the other books of the Bible that you've already learned about are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, and now we're going to be in 1 Kings. So we're going to be learning about King Solomon, and some things you might know about him are that he's the son of David and that his name means Prince of Peace. So some people might have thought that King Solomon was going to be the Prince of Peace and he was going to be the Messiah and restore peace to Israel. And although he did create a really strong kingdom with the help of God, he ultimately did turn away from God. So we're going to write that down in our first thing. We're going to write Solomon turned away from the Lord. So you might wonder, why would he have done that? Why would he have turned away from God? He had wisdom, he had a good family, and he knew God on like a personal level. He had a relationship with God. But God wanted his people to follow him with their whole heart. He wanted their undivided heart. And Solomon ended up marrying a lot of like other women who like worshipped other gods, because that wasn't uncommon. Like back in that day, the kingdom surrounding Israel, a lot of the people worshipped like multiple gods. And so when Solomon married some of the women from the surrounding kingdoms, they turned his heart away from God and turned him toward some of the other gods that were worshipped at the time. Because Solomon was very loved by God and he had turned away from God, God had to punish him. He had to discipline him because he loved him and he wanted him to do the right thing. So because Solomon had taken many wives and his wives had turned him away from God, God allowed some of the neighboring kingdoms to invade. But God chose to honor his covenant with Solomon by not taking away the kingdom during his reign. He would take it away later through Solomon's descendants, but he didn't take it during his reign because he promised not to reject him. He also wasn't going to take away the whole kingdom because he had chosen the line of David to be the future line for a future Prince of Peace. So he didn't take away the whole kingdom from the line of David. After punishing Solomon, God eventually would replace Solomon. God did this by allowing the kingdom of Israel to divide from the inside. So all of the little parts of Israel would divide and become easy to conquer. Solomon would eventually die and his glory faded, but God promised that he would restore David's line still. The Bible says, from the broken stump that was once glorious, a shoot would grow once again. And this shoot represents Jesus, because even though Solomon kind of messed up the line of David, the Davidic covenant God still promised that Jesus would come through the line of David. So eventually Jesus would come.